What's up, everybody? This review, we're taking a look at the Ringside exclusive Outsiders 2-pack of their Ultimate versions. So there is the box that it comes in. Those 2-packs, those Ringside exclusives, comes with some pretty nice packaging. Really nice artwork. You saw the last one with or maybe you didn't, but I did one with like the Usos had the artwork. And pretty much all the tag teams are kind of getting this kind of treatment, which is really cool. So you get the Outsiders, you get Scott Hall, you got Kevin Nash, you got the Outsiders, Ringside exclusive. You've got the NWO painted over Ultimates, another NWO, Outsiders, and just really cool. Let's get them open and check them out. So taking a look at their packaging, there's the Scott's. On the side, you got his picture. You got a picture of him and the figure. Got his stats. He was a big guy. You got Kevin. Looks awesome. His picture. You got a picture of him and then the figure, who was also a really big guy. But I don't know. He's supposed to be the big guy. Comes off of the big guy. As a big guy type wrestler. Scott was huge, man. But you didn't see him being played as like a giant or anything like that. But he was massive. But yeah, that's their packaging. Let's get them open and check them out even better. So here is Scott and Kevin outside of the packaging, and they look really awesome. I really like the sculpts on them and just the outfits that they chose. Just look really good. They both come with a pretty good amount of accessories, but we'll get into that in just a moment. But I think we'll start with Scott for now. So I'll take Kevin out of the way. So they both come with the same shirts. Get your NWO style, which is awesome. You get your Outsiders. Awesome. Really cool. And these all Velcro on the back versus some of the newer ones just slide over. You get these different head sculpts. You get his little ooh. And you get that that go along with the extra hand sculpts that he used to, make that expression with. We'll get into that. You get another head sculpt. Looks pretty good. And of course you get his Too Sweet Wolfpack hands. And then you got him himself. He looks pretty good. He looks really awesome. I've had a couple of different Scott Hall figures through the years, and I got rid of a lot of them. I think it was probably like one of my biggest regrets with his figures is letting some of those other ones go, because I think at the time I was downsizing, and I think I wanted to kind of downsize my wrestling figure collection, and I wanted one figure of him to kind of stand out as him, and I went with a Razor figure because I don't know what it was about the Scott figures. I did like them a lot, but I don't know why. I think I let them go. And then after I did it, I was like, yeah, that was a mistake. I kind of needed one of them. I don't think he's one that I could definitely let go, because I wanted one as Razor and then one as his Scott Hall persona. So yeah, I'm glad they did come out with this one, because I think this one actually ended up being better than the ones that were previously released. Especially like in the face sculpt area and everything that I wanted in a figure. So big regret at the time, and then after this set came out, definitely made it better for me. So for Scott, he looks pretty good. That's a good looking figure. He's got the nice shading on the face, nice head sculpt. You got the little curl down the front. See the Outsiders. I put the belt on him already. It does come with one half of the tag team. Of course, Kevin's got the other one. Got the red. I like the chest hairs. He was a hairy dude, but like a manly hair, if that makes sense. Take that belt off. which the belt looks awesome. It's a really nice shiny gold versus some of the belts are like even some of the ultimate versions of the newer belts don't look as good as this, but a nice WCW style. You've got the elbow pads, outsiders on the trunks. Nice red bleeding down. Really awesome. Articulation wise, just like every other one, every ultimate, you've got the ball peg, double ball peg, left to right. You can get some tilt, everything for personality. T pose. Get the butterfly joints that work really nice. Upper bicep, double jointed elbows, hindered by the elbow pad. You get the peg and hinge for both sides. Diaphragm cut that works really, really nice. Waist cut that goes forward about that far. We'll go back to the neutral. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees that are hindered by the knee pads. Upper boot cut, hinge, pivot, and toe joint for the wrist and ankles. All right, for comparison, we've got the only Scots that I have in my collection now. We have him as Razor. So this is the one that I ended up keeping in my collection because I thought this was the Razor that I kind of really, thought of. At least my representation of him. I wouldn't have minded him in the green. That would have been cool too. But again, I was downsizing at the time. And man, this guy's pretty. Let's see when he came out. So he came out, I guess, 2011. So I was collecting, a lot of these figures way back then, and I got rid of a lot of them. But again, he's the one I decided to keep. And just looking at the difference between the two, they both look good. The head sculpt looks good on the older one. Doesn't look bad at all. So he held up really nice. The chest hair is a little thicker with the dark paint. Got nice details on him. Of course, he is just a little bit shorter. I believe he had... Yeah, so this one had these single jointed elbows. And then the torso is just a little bit different, with this one just having the ab crunch versus having that diaphragm cut. And it could just be the way this head is sitting on there. But yeah, I think he is just a tiny bit shorter. Just by a little bit. Normally the Ultimates are just a little bit bigger than their Elite counterparts just because of the double jointed knees and then the diaphragm versus the ab crunch. But he's not that much taller. And the arms are usually longer because of double jointed elbows versus he's got just a single joint. So a little bit shorter. But this guy, I think this is all he came with. He didn't come with any extra hands, of course. The Ultimates came out afterwards, and they started having all the little pegs for hands, which is really awesome. I love that they do that now. But yeah, I mean, check that out with his gold chains, everything like that. Looks pretty cool. And there's a look of with both of the figures without their vests on, so you can see the butterfly joints and everything like that. The different head sculpts. I put a different one on here, more of the grinning one, since this one is grinning. He always has that grin, that look. You can almost hear him. You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. Crazy. They look good though. And there's Scott with his like, ooh, I'm so afraid look that he does with his little fingers that he would kind of wiggle and stuff. Also got the shirt on him, which looks really good. I like it, man. Looks really cool. Up next, we got the big guy, Kevin Nash, who looks really, really good. Also, some of the head sculpts on some of the other ones were my issue with them. And still, this one kind of looks a little strange to me. Not terrible, but looks really good. So he came with a couple other head sculpts. We've got the smiling face on him. It's like a sinister smiley face. You got the more serious face, staring you down. And then you got his yell when he's pumping that fist in the air, about to give you that power bomb. Pretty awesome. The hair looks good. The sculpts got that light brown. I kind of always imagined this one with the like more blondish hair, but he came with the same shirts as Scott. Also, the other half of the tag belts, and then he came with the Too Sweet, and that's it for his accessories. Now, for him himself, he looks pretty cool. Of course, he was taller than Scott. He's got his vest on too. NWO. Head sculpt looks good. Again, that light brown hair. Eyes look good. T-pose. Butterfly joints. Upper bicep. Double jointed pinless elbows. Peg and hinge. Get the diaphragm cut. Outsiders on his stomach. Not a lot of crazy detail or shading in there. Just molded in there. There's details in there, but you can't really see them. There's wrinkles in there. You can, you got to let the light bounce off of it and give you those details. Some like tassels in there with the red. Outsiders. Got his boots. Waist cut. Leg goes forward pretty good. Should have been just a little bit higher, since you got to give these big boots to people in the face, and he's not really getting it high enough like he does normally. I guess that kind of works, but you got to arch him back a little bit. Double jointed knees. Boots got a hinge and rocker and everything, toe hinge. So pretty cool. Because you could have used a little more definition, I think, in the chest. Seems a little flat. Elbow pad. You see the tattoo, but I'm going to get that pad off of there. So here's Kevin without his vest on and the elbow pad, so you can see a better look at the tattoos. Those double jointed elbows. He has a pretty nice shape. Nothing like crazy overdone, I guess. And then, for comparison, we have this Wolfpack Kevin. So I had a different Kevin Nash before, and I don't think I can't remember which version it was. I didn't really care for it too much. And then this one came out, and I thought it was super amazing. But you can look at those head sculpts now and see the difference and like how far it's come since then. I think this guy might have been like a Ringside exclusive back in the day. I could be wrong, but I think it is. It came with the Wolfpack shirt. I don't think he had any extra hands. That is the head sculpt, which wasn't. I still, in a way, it kind of nails it from certain angles, but just not as good as they do now. But again, this is pretty older figure too, so you just pop that head off. Or actually, we can just slide that shirt off. So the shirt that he came with was the like plastic one. Of course, the red and black. And he came with his Wolfpack NWO belt, sprayed in red. And then on him, it says Nash instead of the Outsiders. He came with the open hand for choke slamming. And then, of course, he's got the ab crunch and no butterfly joints. The waist down is pretty much entirely the exact same. You got the buttons, you got the double jointed knees, the tassels, the boots. All of that is the same. The only things that really change from one to the other is like the double jointed elbows. And if they don't have the double jointed knees, they'll get that treatment. But Oh, and the diaphragm cut. Definitely the diaphragm cut and the double jointed elbows. So that's the only things that really change with them. But having those, oh, and the butterfly joints, and having those will help you get into some better uh, posing whenever you're doing stuff, messing with them, playing with them, or photography, that sort of thing. So, and then you get all the extra hands with the ultimates. So pretty cool. And I wonder if his feet have a stamp on it. Yeah, so this one says 2011 also. So 2011 must have been, well, at least for those two figures, for the Razor and this one was my big pickups, I guess. Yeah, this colorway is still really cool, really nice. This all red is pretty iconic though for him. Pretty cool to have both of those. So here they stand next to each other, and they look pretty awesome. I mean, it's just a really, really awesome looking set. They look really great. The, yeah, of course, the attire matches, and just the sculpts, I guess, just really, really awesome. I mean, I love these guys. These are probably one of my favorite tag teams, but also them when they broke out like this was probably my favorite version of them. Razor was awesome. I think everybody loved Razor, but when I saw Scott Hall, I really, uh, him as Scott, kind of being himself, I guess. I really liked it. Him and Kevin. I didn't like Kevin as Diesel or, of course, the Wizard or anything like that. And I thought Scott had the perfect look. But I don't know. Something I still like the Razor persona. But when he was like this, or when they were like this, they were my absolute like favorites. I loved it. Maybe because it was just the whole NWO style thing where you're just breaking away from how you're supposed to be perceived or anything like that. But yeah, I love these guys, and this is definitely my favorite versions of them. And since we got them out there, I mean, they look great. Kevin's just a little bit taller, which is perfect because he's not like that much taller. But while I got him out there, of course, you got to throw in a little Hollywood, which is really awesome. Put him at the back because it's not about him in this one. But really, really, really awesome looking. In fact, this is my favorite for I'd say my favorite for all three. But I like Hulk Hogan when he was regular Hulk Hogan, eat your vitamins sort of thing. I still liked him like that. I was still little, so I like both versions. I think he nailed it. Um, you know, taking him up on this and being a part of the NWO, I think it was great. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this 2-pack. I mean, I think they look great. I'd say my biggest downside for this set is they don't come with extra hands. So Scott should have came with his thumbs, so he could have been pointing at himself, um, and his open palm hands, because sometimes he would come out kind of crouched, walking with his hands, doing that whole thing, and just have the open hands. It's kind of similar to that, I guess, but yeah, he's missing those hands and the thumbs, so where he could be pointing at himself. Maybe a toothpick face, but definitely those extra hands. Kevin, he's missing his fist, so he can do that fist in the air. He always did it right when he was getting ready to power bomb somebody. And, that was it. Maybe he would let the strap down or something like that. But he's got that face where he's getting ready to, power bomb you, end this thing, choke slam you. But he doesn't have it. He's got those two sweet hands and these kind of open hands. So he needed like a choke slam hand and just a fist, a straight fist to thrust into the air. In fact, Scott could use a choke slam hand too, because he would choke slam people. That crazy one-handed choke slam. They look really good too. So that's mostly it for these guys that I'm missing. is they could have just had the extra hands and it would have pretty much nailed it, I guess. Would have been really cool. Maybe some other championship belts. It would have been cool if Kevin came with a a heavyweight championship also. Scott comes with a different one also. But really, really cool set. I really love that Ringside is doing these Ultimate 2-pack versions. I think they're done really well. I think they're, for me at least anyways, I think they're pretty worth it. Especially for people that miss these kind of similar versions as single cards. I think those were going for a lot, but since these guys are being re-released, they have these updated face sculpts that just make it look really good. I think better than these single releases, and definitely worth it. So yeah, seeing all these guys together is awesome, and that's gonna be it for this review. Hopefully, it helped you, as always, see something that you needed to see, figure out if you were going to be a little more interested in it or not. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Later.